All right. Hello, hello. How's it going? I hope I'm getting sound to everybody. Hopefully. All right. If you guys want to get on mic, please feel free. This is just a little bit of a different setup that I'm normally used to, so hopefully we can see how this goes. But thanks for joining me, y'all. All right. So who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? Let me know where you're from. Who is here? All right, cool. Let me see here. Awesome. All right, Canada, awesome. Nice. Good to see you here. So yes, welcome back to another live stream. We've tried to migrate over here now to the YouTube platform. So let's see how it goes. What's up, Johnny? And from Portland, how's it going? Inland Empire, Cali, what's up? What's up? All right, got some locals. I am also from Los Angeles. I don't know if anyone else is from there, but yeah, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join in. But that's awesome. I'm assuming everyone here does some bit of art, some concept art. You guys joined the live streams from before? Have you guys all been there? Seen some of that. It's a little bit different now because it's like different names, different faces. What's up, Jason? How's it going? And you guys, I think you guys can get on mic, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can try. Let me see if there's like a setting. But what's up, Tony? How's it going, man? All right. Let's see. Yeah. People come on in. Welcome. All right. Well, we're gonna do some painting. Let me just start sharing screen. Let me see here. I should just do the whole screen, right? Entire screen. Okay. Or let me do it like this. 1 second. Here, let me just pick Photoshop, actually. Let me know if this is transferring through well. If you guys can see my Photoshop. Awesome. Well, here we go. This is what we're going to be painting today. But let's have a topic. Let's have a topic for discussion. Yeah, let's get into something. Hello. What's up, Igor? Good to see you guys. So let me ask one question. Can you guys get on mic? Is anyone able to just speak? That'd be better. Need to figure this out. Let me see here. Yeah, let me know if you guys are able to get on mic and say something. If you have Discord, you could use that. Yeah, I do have Discord. Like just get onto the voice channel here, like that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll figure this out. We can just paint and kind of do some stuff here. Anyhow. Yeah, here we go. So I have this drawing that I was kind of just messing around with earlier, and yeah, I guess you know what? Let me just do that. I'll just get onto. Let me think about this. Yeah, I guess I could stay in just the live stream. I mean, just our James Pack live. I can just be my voice on there. You guys can jump on there and say something if you like, ask questions, but I will just be on this side. I'll pay attention to the chat as well, and keep an eye on theirs also. But yeah, feel free to type stuff out or join in our Discord live, the James Pack one. All right, so yes, feel free. All right. There we go. Nice.
Hi, sir.
Hello, hello. Oh, please call me James. It's much better.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm so happy learning from you.
Oh, right on, man. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, here's just my drawing. Let's just paint it. You know, go through like a little bit of a painting series here. But
Okay.
yeah, what should we talk about, guys? Oh, and
Actually, yeah, you are in YouTube, right?
yes,
But you're connected in Discord.
yeah. So I mean, what I'm trying to figure out is the best way to kind of do this. So like, just trying to get onto YouTube, but I wanted to have a way to be able to converse with people too. So I'm just jumping
Yeah,
on to the voice
I
channel.
think Discord and GoTo is better, James, because everyone can ask the questions.
Yeah,
On
right.
YouTube, we cannot directly ask the questions, and even we cannot interact properly.
That's
I
true,
think.
huh? I'm
Yeah.
wondering, should we just migrate back to the go-to?
Uh, how you are feeling, James? What is comfortable for you? I think we can go ahead with that.
I mean, everything more or less, it's just the same to me. I'm kind of just trying to figure out what's the most easiest for you guys. So, but yeah.
What
Hello, how's it going?
up, James?
Not much, man. Not much. Well, we'll keep this episode on this. We'll just keep it going here, just because it's here.
I think there might be a way on OBS they can also stream Discord voice in YouTube too. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you might need to do some like setup and stuff. Yeah, might take a little research, you know.
Yeah, I'm so new to this. It's like it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Also, Discord is kind of hard for me to, figure out how to use it.
Yeah. So what's going on, everybody? What's kind of a point of discussion that we can have today as we paint this robot mech scene kind of thing here? What's happening? Anything cool? We'll start off there. Anything cool and fun and eventful happening lately?
Anything cool happening with you?
Let me see. I just got back from my son's t-ball practice, so we just had dinner and then just doing that, and then just doing some painting. But that's about it. That's kind of just the day's events. I wouldn't say anything new, but our brainstorm term just basically started, so we're getting very, very busy with that.
You're on Brainstorm?
Yeah. So I teach a lot of my classes there. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Working on his homework right now.
Nice. What homework are you working on? What class is that for?
World building too.
Nice. World building too. It's always that's like one of my like most favorite classes to teach. It's like such a strong like core, has such a core fundamentals for everything, you know. It's just a fun class to kind of teach and also like do the assignments myself, because it becomes really relaxing, you know. It becomes really rewarding to kind of do that work, and it's like brushing up on a lot of the core fundamentals, so it's pretty dope, pretty fun. Alrighty.
Is that one of the classes that you would recommend for someone like their first class?
Oh, well, you know, I guess it kind of depends on how much experience you have. So World Building 2 is kind of a class where you would already want to have um, a little bit of perspective, you know, understanding, and a little bit of design understanding. It's a class where you do a lot more digital painting, so you probably would want to already have taken like um, stuff that's like line drawing focused and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
if that's already like in the arsenal and things like that, then yes. If you're environment focused, then that'd be a great class to focus on. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So let's lay this. Let's quickly just kind of lay this out here. What's going on? It's like summertime, but where I'm at in California and in Los Angeles, it's unusually getting cold again. The weather's like up and down and up and down. It's very odd.
It snowed in the town close to me.
Right now? Really?
Yeah, like last week.
Oh wow, that's
It's
pretty
terrible.
unusual, right, for the time of year.
It's Canada. It's never unusual.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So what else is happening? Oh, I heard somebody trying to say something there.
Oh, I said that's what I like about the weather right now. It's cold.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Can always be outside.
Or never overheat.
That's true. Oh man. What else is kind of happening? What should we? Sometimes I think as I'm painting these, I'm just like trying to figure out some basic shapes and lay in like almost stay super loose, just so that everything I paint in front of it is like a lot tighter looking. So that's like my challenge right now, just trying to keep it as loose as possible. But like I wanna paint in a little bit more information and details, but I gotta keep it pretty loose. Alrighty, let's see how this is working out. Yeah, I think maybe on the other kind of platform, it might be like a little bit more convenient, just be able to talk or something. But we have the voice channel right now, so hopefully it's pretty cool. Just be able to ask questions and things like that.
Maybe you can drop your Discord link into the YouTube as well, just in case if people want to join and
Oh yeah, actually that's a great idea. Let me see here. Boop. Invite people. Copy. All right, just in case, and then we'll do it like that. Yeah. Anyhow, right on, man. This experimenting, we've done a couple of different like tries at it. Like I think the first one we did it on Discord live. That was like one that was okay, I think. And then we tried it on GoToMeeting, and it seemed to be, I guess, like what we used for a while. Pretty good. I felt like I was working pretty well. And then I got this suggestion. I was like, hey, why don't you try doing it on YouTube? And I was like, I tried looking into it in a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, that's seems like a pretty good idea. But we'll see. We'll see how it like actually works out. What we use like more long term or something. So Kason, we're gonna do some live drawing soon.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, so Kason and I, we live pretty close to each other, so we've been like talking about maybe going on some live drawing expeditions, like going
Yeah.
to the what was it like maybe a zoo or like a
Yeah,
airplane.
we talked about there was like a tank museum and also the Natural History Museum to get
Mm-hmm.
some, the dinosaur bones and yeah, a bunch of like different things to draw to sketch.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, I don't know, that'd be kind of fun. I don't know how we can like I don't know like we can like document that. You know what I mean? But or like
Mm-hmm.
or like put it on
We could video some like reels and stuff and make like a cool little,
that's true.
cool
That's
little
true. We could.
introductions and stuff, on Instagram and yeah.
Yeah. Either way, like yeah, we're gonna try to just like mess around with some things like that and see where it goes.
With some GoPro.
Yeah. Or I have these those meta glasses that might be kind of fun to mess around with, just because like I can maybe record.
Yeah.
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 Put those up. But we shall
So
see.
would this be like an event you guys like hold, or
Not an event, but just like
A get together kind of thing. Huh?
yeah, just kind of like a meet and draw, like and we'll maybe post where we're gonna go and stuff, like the time and day, and if anyone wants to join, you can, but yeah, I don't know, just a reason to do it, I guess. That's all.
a reason to go outside for me?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like, oh gosh, it takes so much effort to kind of do it. So like, if I don't know about you guys, but if I just kind of have like a group of individuals that I kind of the kind of, it's like, I guess like work, it's kind of like going to the gym. Like if you have some friends to do it with, like you kind of do it more regularly and and that sort of thing. So that's kind of my thought process with it, to be honest. And I just want to get like a lot of mileage and get back into draw, like I guess like just art, which is kind of like where all of this is just stemming from, is even all this like stuff that I'm doing right now, just like the painting stuff and kind of like stuff I'm doing with my channel is just to kind of give me a little bit of encouragement to just do more personal art, So yeah, it's kind of where it is. That's kind of the why, but we'll see. We'll try it out. Like it should be pretty fun, We should definitely like push for it. So I've been doing these daily painting series, and then trying to do like 100 days of daily studies, and it becomes really fun. But one of the challenging things is that you get very bored of like a subject matter, pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but like I can only paint so many trees, you know what I mean? So like now it's like evolving from like doing these like landscapes to like now adding like robots and like soldiers into them or something, But I'm getting to a point, I guess, where I'm trying to really figure out what to paint next, Like so what did I do? Like trees and rocks. I did a lot of organic landscapes for a while, and then I think I segued into like just like some military things. Yeah. But I think I'm at 52 days right now. So I have a bit more to go. A bit more to go. But it's created a good habit already,
Already halfway.
Yeah. Already halfway, man. It's fun though. It's fun. It's definitely better than I think like you know, because doing art professionally has always been that's been the grind, you know, like do it professionally, you know, and kind of everything's kind of more in that zone. But having to do some art just for myself for a while it's actually, man, kind of like rejuvenating. I really enjoy. I'm like really enjoying it. And so Craig Mullins was talking about this in a conference in Paris recently, where he's like, yeah, like can't lose your art, you know, like no matter how much you want to do it as like profession and this and that and this and that um and industry. It's like, yeah, like still do your art, you know. And I was like, it kind of spoke to me. I was like, oh man, he's speaking to me. It's like a religious moment.
It's just a digital painting guy talking to you.
I know he's like, that's what people call him, right? Like the god of like this and concept art, that, right? But yeah, man. I don't know if anyone in this group was at the IMAG conference in Paris recently. It was I believe just shoot, what month was that? March, I believe, in March. But yeah, great conference. They have awesome speakers that are there. Pretty wonderful. And one of them was Mr. Craig Mullins, man. Oh, I like that shape. So I remember in art school that when they would talk about these like classic oil painters, and they talk about how they'd be so economical with their brush strokes. You know, they would just push in and out. I don't know if any of you guys oil paint, particularly. Well, I guess any type of painting, just like real brush, because you get like so much thick and thin when you press the brush harder and lighter and stuff. But it makes for such like awesome mark making, you know, makes some like beautiful marks and stuff. So it's just try to emulate that, I suppose, as much as I can. It's kind of a fun thing, I guess, you know, to try to do this in Photoshop. It's a challenge though. All right.
I totally would if it wasn't so expensive to get into.
Oh gosh, right? Man, I remember. Okay, so you know, like art school tuition is quite the expensive subject matter, right? But supplies, oh man! I remember going to like the art store, art supply store. I forgot what it's called, like Blake or one of those, you know. And then I had to buy my supplies for the term, and it was like, you know, and every class gives you this incredible list, right? And you're just like, oh my gosh, dude, I have to buy all of this stuff. It's like a few thousand. It's like a few $1,000s, you know. Oh,
Thank God they finally made a Copic alternative. That was highway robbery.
yeah, right. And especially like paints, like especially like those classes where you do like, you know, these like long studio classes, like 5-hour sessions. Man, you eat up the paints, man. Like you really go through those paints and you just buy a lot of them. And some of those paint tubes are super expensive, dude. I remember that. I was like, oh man.
I remember all the Copic, man. It's so expensive, and they dry out too sometimes. I was like, yeah. And then you would buy the whole set, and you only use like all the grapes. You know, like the C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then like all the yellow. You never really touch it. You know, it's like damn.
It's like you wish someone told you like just to buy like the right ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I should have just get the main one. Like, why did I buy the
Oh, that's funny, dude. That's so funny.
like, no.
The things you learn along the way, right? That's funny,
Yep.
dude. But it's like that with like I think almost everything. You know, like, so you talk about it with like markers, like what you learned with markers, and hopefully we'd learn and like apply that knowledge into general life. But then, and like, but we do that mistake again, like in another area of life. You know, like maybe in another hobby or you know whatever the case. But it's just hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Just trying to get these shapes on the ground. Yeah. Anyway, you guys kind of understand what it is like this grassy hill with a bit of water, reflective mud, muddy water. All right, now let's do some of these robots. I guess it's not even a robot. It's not really a mech thing. This is like there's like a all-terrain vehicle thingy there, and like a mech-ish. What do you call this?
Metal Gear.
It's just shooting cannons.
Yeah.
Shooting cannons. Dude, Metal Gear, I don't know why, but it's been on my mind for like lately, you know? It's kind of funny. All right, let's start with this one over here. So I'm just going to paint in the silhouette for now. Let's just get this silhouette going. Probably do the people last, so I'm just going to like draw around them. Or paint around them, I should say. But yeah, what we were just talking about?
Metal Gear.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear. Oh dude, that game though. Okay, so I go back to like playing a lot of like PlayStation, you know, like just like PlayStation. And so like I remember like the first Metal Gear that I played, it was like you couldn't see his face, like the pixels weren't good yet, right? But it was just so amazing. It was such a good game, you know? Such a badass game, dude. Well, okay, so here's a question. What were some of the games that... Okay, so for me, Metal Gear is a game that, like, got me really into video games, but, like, in a way that was, like... I wanted to, like, draw it and like design it. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if this question, like you know, because there's games that I would play that I wouldn't go and just like want to go draw. You know, I would just play them. You know, but then there's other games that would like spark my imagination more. I guess it really took a stronghold of my imagination. Were there any games for any of you? Open topic. Curious.
Mine was Uncharted. Uncharted 2.
Oh man, that's
the one that you worked on.
Man, that game, it was quite an awesome experience. Just like working on that game, but yeah, it was, so that game for you was one of those groundbreakers.
Yeah, I still remember I was in high school when that game first came out, and there was the first time I was like, dude, that game is so good. Like it's like a movie. Everything's like so cinematic, you know. Watching like a crazy movie, like Indiana Jones kind of thing. Especially in the second one, so I bought the art book, and it was your painting, the interior painting, that got me. It was like, dude, the freaking lighting, man! Oh my god, look at the stairs. Holy god, it was perfectly calculated. Look at the window, man. The texture. How did this guy paint it? And then your name was on that book, and I didn't know it was you until CDA. You know, CDA. You were teaching there, and then one of my buddies like told me like, "Hey, man, you gotta do it. You gotta take like John class and James class." I was like, "Oh, James who? Was James Paick?" And they was like, "Oh shit, that's the same freaking guy! Oh my god!" And yeah, that's how it all started from there. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a pretty fun story, dude. All started from a video game, dude.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so mind blowing, and it was the first time I looked at the book and said, "Wow, I didn't know you can do art for games." Yeah, I didn't know that they need artists, and I remember also looking a lot of like loose color comps. There's a rough painting that they did. Some of your rough black and white painting with the tree. I was like, dude, that looks so sick. But yeah.
You know what's funny is like I think we all have that first exposure when we're like where we're like, whoa, you can do art for that, you know?
Yeah.
Where like this like aha moment happened, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
What was yours?
oh shoot. It was okay, so I was already at art center, but I was still lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I guess I was just following the wave of what everyone was doing, which was just they're gonna graduate and be like an editorial artist or something, which is like paint for like newspapers and magazines and stuff. And then so I was in those classes, and then I remember I was in. Oh, shoot, I think we were watching Black Hawk Down. You know that movie with
nice.
Ridley Scott movie Black Hawk Down about these like this whole military event, and like so we were there, and then during the previews, Lord of the Rings trailer came out.
Nice.
And I was like, oh shoot, man, that's and at that time I haven't seen like dark fantasy done well, you know, like fantasy that had a lot of grit. A lot of the time it was just a little bit more whimsical, like from what I was exposed to. So when I saw it, I was like, dang, I want to do that, you know, like it struck a chord. I remember vividly in that movie theater. I was like, oh, I want to do that. I was like, you know, especially seeing the orcs, like the design of the orcs. I was like, who? Because, you know, when you think about it in a movie and you see it in a trailer, you're like, dude, someone's designing it. There's like special effects house that's making it, like all like it's like this whole production, and you're like, dude, or at least for myself, I was like, who the heck are doing this, man? You know, like it was fun, man. It was quite a inspiring, I think, couple moments. Yeah,
it's awesome.
I wonder about everyone else. What's that?
I said that movie still holds up. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, that movie still looks quite amazing. You know, oops, I gotta.
That scene of that orc getting like birthed from the mud has never left me.
Oh man, it's dude, and you know what's cool about the things that they did back then is like they used a lot of practical effects, so it looks not looks real, like it is real. You know what I mean? Like it looks so good. You know?
Yeah, it was that and Blade Runner. Like when I watched the making of, I was like, dude, like holy crap, man! Those like models.
Oh, the old Blade Runner.
Yeah, both of them. The new one here, the new one, they use a lot of practical effects too. Yeah, like they try to do it like an old way kind of thing.
Yeah,
so that's why it looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just gonna paint this thing over here. Anyways, yeah, that's cool. That's getting some groove of chatting about stuff. But that's a fun topic. Like, what got you specifically, you yourself, into doing art in this direction? You know, because I'm sure, right? Like we were doing art, at least on our own, or doing something like that, and then somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, this moment goes, and you're like, "Whoa, I want to do concept art." Is there a moment where you're like, I remember that moment?
For me, it was like more of a journey, I feel like. At first I was like doing like YouTube videos, like just making YouTube videos with like games with friends and stuff. And I really got into like editing, and then I kind of like, oh, maybe I kind of like film, like I can try film or something. I was like in high school when I was doing this, but I like kind of got into film a bit. And then I started discovering more things like motion graphics, and I was like, maybe like graphic design, because I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do for like college. So I was trying to like just see what I do now and like what I can like possibly do and like major to take. And I kind of just took a chance with art. I had previously done art like when I was younger, but probably not as much as like a lot of other artists.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of a bit of a risk to kind of do that. But my parents were like super supportive, so
Right on, man.
yeah, it was good. So then took classes. I thought I was gonna do like graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
As I took classes, I kind of started figuring out like others, like just what art can do, I guess.
Right. Just getting more exposed to like the whole world.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got into like animation, and then later on I discovered like concept art. And then I've been just kind of grinding for that now.
How did that discovery happen for concept art? I'm very curious.
It was honestly just taking classes. Took like some digital painting classes, and then I had asked my professor like what I can basically like what I can do with this, and so I was really into environments. So I had asked him, and he had told me like, oh, and like try concept art, and like he also recommended like brainstorm.
Oh, right on.
I think he actually he teaches at brainstorm, like just perspective of Gary Kaida.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes. No, Gary.
Yeah, I talked to him, and he kind of has guided me in that way.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's such a great story. Like, I wonder for anyone else if they're if they want to share or able to share. But I'm always very curious because it's like for a lot of us it might be this sort of stumbled upon, right? Like a series of events, right? It wasn't like this, like one day I had a dream and it said concept, right? Like we don't have that moment, It's like you take this class and you meet this person and then like you kind of do that and, like kind of just rolls into this super organic event. But I think that's cool. It's kind of how life is, right? Just in general. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So yeah, what else is new, everybody? Let's keep this conversation going. It's pretty fun. It's gonna lay in some general shapes, darks and lights, and then get the people.
I can share like how I started into the journey to try to become a concept artist.
Yeah, go for it.
I just drew a lot when I was a kid. I just wanted to keep drawing. So when I was going to college, community college, I ended up taking one like figure drawing class. And from there, I met a friend that really wanted to go to a game dev school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I'll just join you. And so I tagged along, and I had been playing games all my life. So I guess the inspiration just it was kind of contagious, and I got really into it myself. And when I was in school, I was doing a lot of like draftsman stuff. So like Star Wars, mech designs, Terminator, that sort of stuff, and like Godzilla, Monster Hunter, that sort of stuff really inspired me. Nice. So I just kept going at it.
Nice. You know what's funny is like before I was able to go to art school, I went to like a more formal university kind of thing for like just like a semester or so, and I was in the art department, or the art major, right? And at that time, they got all the art majors together in this room, and then you sort of declare what your focus is, right? And and they're just like, okay, start from you, and they just like went one by one, and everyone's like, graphic design, graphic design, graphic design, and I'm like, what is the options? Like, I don't even know what the options are. How do people know it? Like, is there a list that we could look at prior? Graphic design, and it goes to me, and I'm like, graphic design, and the guy behind me goes, animation, and I go, oh, actually, can I change my answer? And they're like, no, and I'm like, what? I'm like, oh. So for the longest time, I was like a graphic design major, man. It was actually quite the hilarity. Such a funny moment. I don't want to call out the school, but But you know what's crazy though is anyway, so like like I took these like classes and whatnot, and one of the classes was like a figure drawing class, and I was in this class, and I remember the instructor. He was this like cool older Caucasian gentleman, like long white hair, like super hippie kind of like surfer dude kind of thing, and he Kason was talking about CDA. This guy later on, when I was teaching a class, he ended up taking my class, right? And as a student, and I was like, "You look really familiar," and he's like, "You do too, right?" And we didn't know it was each other. Like he didn't recognize my name, I didn't recognize, and he was like, "You look really familiar too." And then he comes back the next week, and he's like, "You know what? You were in my class." Like that. Like we connected the dots. It was kind of funny, but funny experience. Good old college.
The circle.
Oh yeah, it all comes back, man. And then I go to like kind of like an art school where it's everything. It's all business, right? It's all about the art stuff. Where I was like, man, I like know nothing. I remember going to like my first. It was like a. Have you guys? I don't know if you guys went to like a formal art college, but you kind of take these classes that are like these discussion classes, and like there's people from other departments like graphic design, illustration, like fine art, like photography, and we're all talking about like design theories, and they're like talking about all these people from like the past, like these brilliant artists from the past. And I was like, I don't know any of these people, man. Like, how do you guys all know? Like, I felt so uneducated, man.
Who is this Monet you speak of?
Yeah, like what? They had a sister that did what? Like it's just like they knew everything. This is crazy. I felt so like underexposed. Does that make sense to the world of what everybody was talking about? Like I just like drew well, I guess, and everyone's like they just know so much.
I think I kind of it kind of happened to me recently too, because I'm doing a lot of photo shooting on the side. So I started to meet photographers that literally is real photographers, and they start hanging out and chatting. Oh yeah, this guy is that guy. I'm like, in my house, I don't know any one of these guys. Oh yeah,
oh my god.
Cool.
Yeah, they're talking about like classic like photographers from the past.
Back in Italy, they did the street photography. I'm like, oh, cool, man.
Oh gosh, that's actually pretty funny. That's pretty funny, man.
I was like, oh shit, I need to do some research.
Yeah, I would have to say when I started freelancing, it was just like that, man. I was I didn't know anything really about like the video game process or a lot of because I had a very limited amount of experience prior to doing that, So yeah, it was kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, there's a small story about that. I figured out that you don't know about this character when we were working together. There's one time he told me to write, "Hey, Jason, you remember that the arrow guy from Marvel? What's his name? Bruce Eyes?" I was like, "Oh, it's Hawkeye." Yeah, he doesn't really watch.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was funny.
There's so much, right? So much to watch all the time. I can't even imagine nowadays like trying to be just like current with everything. There's too much, right?
Yeah.
Like just talk about games, for example, video games, Just staying current with video games, it's kind of impossible. Right? You guys know what I mean? It's so how does one kind of stay in the know? Like, what do you guys do? You know?
I feel like the only way is pirating. How are you going to fork over all that money?
Well, that's
$80, $90 per game.
And it's hard to understand why people watch other people play games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like before, I just don't get the whole like Twitch streaming. I'm like, why would you watch somebody like playing a game? I want to just play it. But recently, I started to try to play games on my own. I couldn't even finish. Like I just started, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I get to 30%. I'm like falling asleep, you know. Yeah, or I just like over analyzing the game. Just like, oh, look at the lighting. Oh, look at that camera angle. Oh, look at this. Look at that. But I'm not really like really playing it. But yeah, maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I'm like getting older or something. That's why I was like, oh man, I think game is not for me nowadays.
It's because you're a dad, bro.
I'm like, maybe I need to play with my son instead of doing this.
You know what it is? I think you're. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Who was that?
Oh, no, I was going to say, have your son play for you, and you would just watch him.
I wish. She's too young right now. She's like 7 months.
One day it'll happen. He's like, Dad, give me the controller. You know.
That's the thing, man. Because I always dreamed that I would love to play games. You know, when he get older. But then now I'm like, yeah, I don't think I can catch up, man. He'd probably beat the crap out of me. You know.
Man, by the time your boy is playing games like at a functional, like independent level, it's like, dude, it's gonna be like games on a whole different level, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
because I always dreamed that I want to play games with him with the game that I'm really good at, so I can kind of beat him in the game world.
You're gonna be that old guy. You're gonna be that old guy that has to bring out the old system, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you know, like Gran Turismo 7, you know, when it was like Gran Turismo was like 24, you know? Like, ah, damn it.
They're like, what do you mean, Dad? Why do you have this? What is this? You know, like.
Why is it 3D, man? It's a hologram. Like I can, you know, like touch the car.
Goodness. Imagine if you're like kids these days, they like played, you know, games that were like kind of the old school ones. Not even like Nintendo, but like even before Nintendo, like Atari stuff. I don't know if you guys have played some of these old systems. Man.
Like Contra.
Yeah. That's a great one. Have you guys
heard
of
those games? Are so hard to play, though.
Have you heard of
those games? Are so hard. Mm-hmm.
Which game?
Like all those older games is so hard to play.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, even like the first like Mario or something. You know, it's not like it's. I feel like games nowadays are a little bit of hand holding at the beginning for you to learn faster. But back then, games there's no hand holding. There's no, you know, you can't save. When you game over, you have to start over. You know, everything's just really tough.
So like my parents were the type that they bought me, you know, Nintendo for my birthday when I was young, and it came with one game. It came with at that time the Super Mario Brothers, right? And that's the only game that I ever got, right? Like they would never buy me any other games, you know. So I remember playing that game so much, and you know, back then games you couldn't save. You couldn't save your status.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to start from level 1 like every time you play, you know? And so you get really, I was like, I got really good with level 1, 2, like all the base levels. Anyway, like I remember just playing so much of that, man. So much of that game. Do you guys remember this game called Metroid?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this like dude with like an arm. He has a gun on his arm.
It's like a Western Mega Man.
Yeah, you know what? But isn't Metroid? It's like Japanese, right?
Is it? Is it Japanese? I don't know actually.
I thought.
Yeah.
But it was cool, man. Some of those old games, I kind of wish, like, I don't know if they have them now, like newer versions of them. I might look into that and kind of try to play them or something, you know. All right, let's. Man, wasting time, dude. Just like chatting away. It takes it's always weird because like I do these paintings on my own and I'm like trying to time it, but every time I like jump in here, man, the timing never goes right. You know, like how long something kind of takes. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I could probably fit it in. I've done this kind of painting like couple times in the past week or so. With like this many characters or whatnot. And I was like, all right, cool, we got it. Like, maybe I'm just like getting sidetracked too much.
Yeah, whenever I do like personal art, like I notice I keep extending the deadline. Yeah.
That's the freedom. You've earned that freedom for personal work. You know what I mean? That's funny. Oh man. So let's see. I don't know if there's any questions or anything that we can kind of go over as we're talking about just different things today. But man.
How do you pick your color palette?
That's a good question. I would just have to say it's just based on, I think it just kind of looks nice, Well, I use a lot of photo. I sample a lot from photos. I can't really take too much credit when it comes to like how the color palette would be developed, It's just like I see a photo and I really react to the mood, right? And so the way I kind of break things down, at least my thought process wise, is that the how can I say this? Like the design of things is one thing. It's like a very visual thing when we look at design, but like colors and lighting, I try to like separate into two different like big categories. So one would be like definitely the colors, right? Like kind of the palette, the arrangement of the palette, and sort of the proportions, And then the other one would be like how it's lit, the actual like mechanics of the lighting, So when I look at photos, I just try to look at things that kind of have like an appealing palette. I think that's one of the first things I look at. And it's challenging because nowadays, like photos, it's a lot of time it's just like stuff like this. Like I'll just find something like this, and it's not very appealing, right? It's like very neutral, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm always trying to like fish for something more. So what I've ended up finding out is that I end up using palettes from like a classical painting, but I'll apply it to my like concept art, Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I have this reference folder here, and I'll just like sample, like this is a beautiful color palette, right? So but yeah, that's kind of the idea. That would be the philosophy behind it all.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And one thing too is I've always been like sort of the type of artist where I want to fill in my gaps. Like, okay, so there's some artists I remember in school and just like as I was going through, navigating through life and stuff, there were some artists that would always do a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like they would use a certain palette all the time, or like a certain look, style, techniques, mm-hmm. right? And it was sort of like their thing. It was very embedded. And then there was like other people who were doing more things to be like well-rounded, I suppose, might be the best way to say it. Like kind of covering more bases and being like more, like more well-rounded, right? So mm-hmm. I kind of fall more in that line of thought, I guess, when it comes to it. So I would want to try to improve on things, but not like overly in one area, if that makes sense. So
gotcha.
So what am I talking about? So like I would do some kind of palette and then I would switch it. Once I get kind of comfortable, I would switch it to another type of color palette and like try to get used to that, So I'm always trying to like shift it around it a bit. I guess I could say. Yeah.
I never thought about specializing in color palettes. That's interesting.
You know, it's funny because like gosh, some artists you can recognize their color palettes. You know, like somebody like Frank Frazetta or something. His color palettes are sometimes recognizable. Or even John. Do you guys know John Berkey, that sci-fi, you know, a classic painter guy? He has definitely some color palettes that are just like, whoa, you know. Yeah. Anyway, like sometimes if you use like a color palette from Sid Mead, like you can like definitely see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Even John Wallen. It's not just like color palette, I guess. It's how he uses some of the color. You know, like you can kind of when you just see a painting without the name, you already know. Oh, yeah, I think that's John Wallen. You know.
Yeah, or you know what it is too, because it's not just palette, like what colors are being used, but it's also like the proportion, like how much of a color is being used versus like another color. I think is such an important part of that conversation. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like his I guess like the tendency of like, oh yeah, leaving a little purple, you know, like little. I guess like his style, you know, when it comes to like the color, how he uses it. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Like he'll paint, and then all of a sudden he'll have like this saturated brushstroke.
Yeah, like pink.
Yeah,
purple,
yeah, like hot. Yeah. And you're just like, why is that there? You know? And then like you zoom out, like you squint, and you're like, oh man, it like looks right. You know, like it's See, I wonder what's I wonder what the whole thought process behind all that is, man. You know, there's got to be something. All right, let's do this. So as you see, like I keep clipping my drawing into the shape, so I can like just paint the drawing. But I kind of like baffled this because I kept the characters in here. I should have separated them, but whatever. It's okay. Work around the problem, I suppose. But yeah, that's a pretty funny story, man. I like that. I think there's color especially has been such an elusive topic like of art learning for myself. It's always been the unicorn, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I feel like I'm smashing my head against the wall when I usually try to figure out color.
And and what's also very frustrating, and I don't mean it to, you know, like speak bad to anyone about this, but because I see other people that understand it, you know, and I'm like, what don't I get? Like I don't. Oh, so yeah, it's always been challenging, you know, for myself at least.
Especially because a lot of tutorials about color are like, use complementary colors. And that's it.
Yeah. Such an easy like fix, you know.
Exactly. It still looks like garbage. Why?
Yeah, I still have to. I think one thing that I really learned through working at one of my first studio experiences was I quickly learned what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like when I first started my job, like concept art job, and they're like, okay, all right. So when I worked in advertising, it was a lot more pure. How can I say it? Like there were people there to teach you some of the techniques that were very prevalent to use for their pipeline. You know, so a senior guy would come over and be like, hey, all right, do it like this. Let me show you. kind of do this, and then come see me when you get these done or something, right? But in the game studio that I worked in later, okay, which is different than an advertising studio, right? It's very, very different. Like they'll just say, here's your assignment. Come up with these ideas. And there's no, use these techniques or, use blah, blah, blah. There's none of that, right? So I'm like, what techniques do I use? So under that pressure, I remember like totally folding, I'm like trying to impress so hard. So I did all these techniques that like I shouldn't have been doing, you know what I mean? And it was just like looking so bad, right? And I just remember like, I quickly learned like, okay, I need to have a process, I need to be able to like really rely on a process, especially when I don't know, like when you're kind of comfortable, you're just like, in your studio or something, it's kind of easy. Not easy, but it's the most ideal situation. But sometimes if you're, at that time working in the studio, you had to like move your, you're working in a foreign computer you've never used before. That in itself is actually a freaking hard thing to do. You guys ever just like use your friend's computer and like all of a sudden you can't paint because you don't know the settings, Right?
Oh yeah,
happens to me all the time. Oh my god.
Shortcuts to the people that would do. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like oh, kryptonite, someone else's tablet settings. You know what I mean? And the problem of that is like, okay, so I travel around and I do workshops and stuff, and that's the thing is you're always doing that on a foreign computer, So like, you're like hoping and praying, like, oh my gosh, I hope this computer is like friendly, it's like friendly to me in that regard, Oh man, pretty funny, dude, pretty funny.
Yeah, I used to customize my hotkeys all the time, like setting which go on my brush, eraser, smudge tool, mixer brush. But because I would like switch computers here and there, or like my Photoshop would just like completely reset my brush settings or my hotkey settings. I just ended up giving in, and I just used the default hotkeys now.
It's fun. This conversation reminds me of a very funny story of an artist that I know, and he started working at the studio, and he was like having like a bad day, like he couldn't produce work, and he's like, instead of like being this, oh man, I can't really produce, he's like, oh, it's like my elbow's not high enough. I need a chair to like raise my elbow. Then I can draw today. It's like, come on, dude. No, that's not what it is, man. It's all good. It's so funny. So funny. Oh man, that's good talks. I'm gonna go watch the new Lilo and Stitch movie. I'm gonna take my son to go watch that. Do you guys know that new Disney film? Yeah, the remake, the live.
It's crazy. I actually never watched the original.
You should.
Yeah, I never watched that original. Yeah, crazy. I watch so much movie, but when it comes to like animation, I actually don't watch a lot. Yeah,
that movie's really fun. And you know what? Armand Serrano.
Yeah.
Dude, he designed a lot of that movie.
I think I saw some sketches.
Yeah, dude. So I remember watching that movie when I was at Art Center, and I'm like, man, that's such a cool. Like, I honestly, I love Disney movies. Especially like from like that era, like they're like classic like animation era, especially when I was growing up. And when I meet people that worked on them, because I have over the years in some of the DreamWorks movies, I'm like, oh man, dude. Like, you have a special heart in my childhood. Like, you know what I mean? You have a special place in my childhood heart, I should say, yeah. All right, speaking of that, who are like the celebrity artists where you're just like, if you saw them, you're like, oh man, I need to shake your hand for the years of influence or something, you know, or whatever the case
Jamie
might
Jones.
be. Have you ever met
Jamie
Jamie?
Jones.
yeah.
Have you ever met Jamie at all yet?
No, I don't think so. I saw Mullins. I think Jamie doesn't really go out. Like even he go out, I probably don't know that's Jamie. He just don't even have a photo, you know, of himself.
Yeah, he's pretty laid back.
Yeah,
Pretty chill.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he and Darren Bacon. I would love to meet him.
Darren Bacon, yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, Darren Bacon.
If you guys don't know these names, look them up. Jamie. If you don't know Jamie Jones, then you're in for a real awesome delight. Like seriously, he's a sick digital painter, concept artist, illustrator. I guess more so known for just painting like no one's business, you know. And you said Darren Bacon. What about what stuff about Darren's stuff do you like? Like more of his line art or like
line art, design, blue sketch. I even soon, like later on in my I guess experience working, I just love his really rough sketch. When he draw the model, like super roughly and lay in this direction. And he's just like so clear. It's like so rough, but you already know what you're looking at. It's amazing.
He's a great artist.
Mm-hmm. Ash Thorpe, for sure.
Oh, Ash Thorpe, yeah, he's cool. He's a really cool guy too.
I like his cars too. That's why.
Yeah, and it's even crazier too because like you meet these guys that are these artists, and they do well in design, for what we do as like a profession. But then you'll see them bring their attributes into a hobby, such as like building a car or building a, something, like if you guys know Scott Robertson, he built his own car. He has this one, like old Ford pickup truck, like classic, but designed almost with like a World War II. It's really cool. It's very, and he designed, like he drew things and got them like CNC made. And Daniel Simon is one of those guys I would be like, wow, if I met him, I was like, yeah, you had a big influence on me. But yeah, wonder who else is out there.
Doug Chang too.
Doug Chang. Oh, Ryan Church. I would have to say Ryan Church.
Yeah, Ryan Church. It's like James Paick.
No, I told the story before about like how we were able to meet me and some of the department that I was working with at the time. We met Sid Mead, and we were basically hiring him to be like a consultant, art director, like visual consultant on the project. And we went to his house, to talk about the project, but we just were in fan mode for 1.5 hours. Like we didn't talk about the project really. We just were like, wow, like where are you from? And and he was just showing us around his house. It was such a cool experience,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh man. Who else? What are like some other like superstar, not super, I don't want to say it like that, but like artists and where you would meet them and it's just like they had a big impact.
James Gurney.
Oh, James Gurney, good one.
James Gurney's so chill and nice. You might see him in like Light Box again, I think. He always paint.
And he paints outside. Yeah.
Yeah, the Light Box and just hang out there, It's so chill.
Yeah, right? How cool is that, awesome. How cool is that? Wow.
Dave proposes on that list.
Ooh, nice. Nice. So many, it's kind of crazy because I don't know if it's just like I'm like hitting a certain age where I'm like there are like I don't remember there being this many amazing artists. Like, or I don't know if it's like the world is more connected because of the internet or what the case is, but I'm just like There are so many great artists everywhere. It's freaking mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm. There's a person I really want to meet, but it's not an artist.
Oh, who's that?
Connected. Ridley Scott.
Oh, yeah. I guess on that note of anyone that's like had an influence on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody, right?
Yeah, I think he contributes so much in our industry too. You know, like everybody look at his movies and all the other, you know,
Yeah.
study and everything. Yeah.
It's like I didn't know I liked his movies until somebody told me all the movies that I liked were his movies. You know what I mean? It's like one of those moments, yeah. Oh man. But I remember we had this film review class, current film critique. That was a class that we had at Art Center when I was going there. Current film critique. It was like we talked about current film and critique them. It was such an interesting class. But I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this movie called Irreversible. I'll pause. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that movie. Yeah? No? Okay. If you guys don't know it, it's like this what do you call those movies that like cause a stir with the people that watch it? Like it's very kind of controversial to like it or not. You know what I mean? And it's like because like there's like scenes in there that are just like super pushed. You know, pushed in a way where it's like it's brutally in your face, right? It's like very uncomfortable kind of a thing. I don't know if anyone's watched it. Maybe like hopefully I'm doing the description justice, you know. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to describe just like on a whim. But yeah, like in that class, that's one of the films that we had to watch, and we were just like. Yeah, if you haven't watched it, then like this conversation doesn't make any sense. But yeah, man, I remember there's just some classes I remember like I was like, why are we taking this? Why are we taking this? You know. For your personal journey, for your personal walk through the journey of art and professionalism and all this kind of jazz, what's been sort of the moments where just like, man, is this is a complete waste of my time?
Not really. I feel like maybe when I was in that moment, I feel like it was a waste of time. And then when I look back to it, somehow I learned something about it. You know.
Oh, that's good.
You know, like for me, is that time that when I was studying at Art Institute.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't know. It's a dead college that got sued by the government, all that, you know, all the drama. But then, you know, it's like, if I didn't go there, I probably wouldn't work as hard, you know, and actually go out and take other classes. I wouldn't even meet you, James, you know, like there's so many things come after that.
That's true. It is a kind of like we were talking about earlier, a super organic, you know, a super organic, I guess, a journey, you know, like getting tongue-tied on myself. But yes, let's get some more tones on this sucker. Nah, what should I make this? But yeah, I think there's always that time I think that we kind of encounter moments where it's just like, am I wasting my time or doing the thing that I should be doing? I don't know if you guys have had those moments. All right, let me just keep going. Getting stuck on minute details. All right, let's get these soldier guys. They're just taking a break. They were prepping that attack cannon thingy over there, and they're like, all right, guys, take 5, have a smoke break. But Chris, can you keep watch so no one dies? So that's Chris in front with a gun, holding the long rifle. And oh, here's a question: did any of you guys shoot guns as a hobby or have shot before? Curious.
I shot a 9mm. That's just about it. One time.
Oh, nice.
Freaking awesome. I got a bullseye.
Oh, nice, dude.
It was like 3 feet away from me, 6 feet away from me. But it definitely makes me want to go out to a shooting range again.
Isn't that kind of? I think it's kind of amazing what kind of feeling, the visceral response you get when you fire a weapon. You know what I mean? Like the kickback and like the jolt of it, and just like the violence of it, kind of thing. And like my friend, he a buddy named Kang Lee, he had this game that he was making called Hawken, and they were doing a whole bunch of like these mech shooter kind of game kind of thing, and a lot of his designers, he was like, oh, you guys haven't shot a gun? Oh, dude, we gotta go shoot a gun. If you guys are like designing guns, right? Like you gotta shoot a gun and feel like what they feel like, and like the weight and the recoil and like how you load it, becomes, it, otherwise it's just like we're just like guessing based on visual information, like designing a car based on what we think just a car looks like instead of experiencing a car, And I thought like, oh, and he was telling the effect of it all afterwards was incredible. Everyone designed with so much more intention immediately after that, because of that, and I thought that was really cool, but yeah, this topic on that, I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised by the weight of the gun.
Yeah. Some of them definitely can get pretty heavy or light. Like some of them are super light too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, well, somebody was saying something though. I think want to just give them a moment to chime in real quick.
James, have you gone out and shot on guns? Have you shot a variety of guns?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of funny, like as a odd topic in California. Like California has really strict gun laws, So back in like 2000, the year 2000, so long ago, they introduced this this new gun law, which is like any long gun with a pistol grip, basically like assault rifle. They made like really strict rules on it, and so at that time, I remember some of my friends they just really got into it because it was going to be banned, like you couldn't get them anymore. So it like created this like frenzy. All these people were like buying them and stuff, and then so we shot a lot of different ones. I've some of my friends became like super gun enthusiasts because of that. They just like went into the deep end to like really get into it. So yeah, shot like a lot of varieties from like different long guns, like kind of assault rifles, but they're just like they're more like they're not any semi-automatic, because of how the laws work here. But then you can go to like Nevada, like by like let's say like Las Vegas, they have shooting ranges there that you can do fully automatic weapons.
Yeah, I was thinking just from a story from growing up as well, about that time. I think I'm 10 years younger than you, but a colleague was saying that he went to, I'm in Texas now. He was in college in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure where it was, but he told me this one story about he went to a gun range where you could literally do anything. Like he was saying, not even like rocket launchers. He was like, yeah, we were shooting at squirrels and stuff. It was just funny because this is, a chemical engineer, whatever, talking about, his day job's just like taking care of a nuclear plant, and then he's talking about, yeah, I was shooting just all kinds of stuff. I think that'd be fun. I'm not a gun enthusiast either. I followed you and Scott Robertson kind of stuff. Closest I've got to is getting certified for like veteran stuff.
Oh, nice.
Or the art of the gun, our history of guns and all that stuff. Yeah, that was a funny question.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. Like there's kind of on that topic of things. I think when it comes to designing something, if we have real experience in it, it's no matter what, we're gonna design so much better. It's not even close, It's not even funny what the difference is like. And how often do we push ourselves to go out and like experience, like new things?
Yeah, go take photo references. I need to do that.
Right? Like
I want to do an expat bar scene.
a what?
So I have here's a different topic question. Not sure if you know an answer or have an opinion.
Okay.
Art center that you went to originally.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran. If you were in my shoes and you had a GI Bill, meaning you have somewhere to go in the U.S., tuition's fully paid for, housing's fully paid for. In today, would you still go? Would Art Center still be a candidate?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good question because it's like a different predicament, right? Like
it's not. Yeah, Scott Robertson's not your teacher. I'm not really sure if there's any major replacements currently.
Right.
So there's that. That's my question.
Right. I mean, I would say that it's a strong option. Absolutely, it should be definitely considered. And the thing that's also super important about that school that I really realized is that it's the people that you're going to meet along the way as well that become a really important part of the growth experience, I guess I could say, as you navigate, as you work and just kind of do things and such. So yeah,
that was my predominant reason. Kind of like, I'm an ADHD person. I need structure initially. If it's paid for, I was still thinking yes. Maybe it's not in its golden ages, or golden age of 20 years ago, but because I was thinking, what alternatives is like? There's a place you could go that's non-accredited. Remember, GI Bill is an accreditation, meaning a bachelor's degree.
Right. Yeah. There's parameters.
But I was trying to think, it's just like in today's age, like, here's the other thing is AI. Like, I'm going off topic here, but the reason I would go to Art Center is really just for pleasure. Like, I have a GI Bill anyways. It's going to, financially long term, it's like I'm just going to stock trade. Like, maybe go to Art Center for pleasure and to learn to paint and draw, and then something comes up.
So what would you consider your major to be? Like, if you were to choose one, if you went to Art Center, what would your
entertainment design concept track?
Okay.
Same direction as you.
Okay. Because I think, like, man.
Because I like film, like cinematography and stuff, but I decided I'm very much more in the illustration, like entertainment concept, just interest, not necessarily job finding, really.
Okay.
Than going to the film school. So that's where I'm like, today's maybe still Art Center, especially again if it's fully paid for.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the biggest kickers, right? Like, the biggest difference. You know what I mean? So definitely, man, definitely give it a consideration. Because even though like whatever the opinion might be about how the school was before, after, now, or before, whatever the case, it's still a really strong school, and it has a lot of has a great program, and I know what you mean about having structure, because like there's a lot of ways to get a cheaper education, but it involves different structure, like you know what I mean? There's not a structure laid out all the time.
I'm somebody who needs to live in the environment.
Yeah.
Peers, pressure, structure, mentors.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
someone who has that same brain but doesn't have that same opportunity has to do it kind of the cheaper way and doesn't get the structure as consistent. It would be so nice to have like that kind of consistent structure. You have to do it like when you're doing it the cheap way. You kind of have to do it on your own terms. You have to keep looking out for everything. Like you're kind of having to push yourself. And as a PhD person, you can run out of gas so fast and fall into that like burnout state.
That's
in there.
That's a good point, actually, what you're making. So, what I feel like I'm doing right here, actually, just to kind of like sidestep this real quick, is like I used to play with GI Joes a lot when I was a kid, and then I would like set up the guys, all the soldiers, and they're just like in this stage. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm like playing with my GI Joes. It's pretty funny, man. But
Transformers for me.
What's that?
Transformers for me. Like generation, yeah.
Any kind of soldier toy I had, I was cross mixing and everything. I had the whole stack out.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like this last stage. Like I'm at that stage right here where I kind of like have a lot of stuff laid in, and I can kind of noodle if I wanted to, but I like to start putting on the decals that belong on these things, and just kind of get like some color accents and stuff. But this painting, kind of like what I think one of the things that has been a pleasure about doing this painting series is that I'm just learning how to paint to a certain level, which is like probably like to this degree where it's still very loose, it's very void of a lot of details, but there's about a good percentage of the painting completed so that we understand what's going on. If I zoomed into this thing, it's just like it looks like someone drew this with like a bunch of pastel chalk, right? But and maybe on another day, if I use different techniques, you could just do like a production style run on this. But this has been really, really fun. It's helped me in ways like I think become a better editor, like edit down the information more, because like if you have only like a couple of brush strokes to do it, you're
just talking about composition, like and keeping it non what is it, photorealistic sucks.
So yeah. And now
it really helps. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead. I'm just like
I was just
babbling.
gonna say, I feel like it like also probably makes it so that it's just when it comes to like you have to do something that's a little bit more detailed, a little bit more set in place. You kind of it's like what you talked about with a lot of your other classes and stuff. The block practices, right? Like you're just practicing doing the same thing a lot of different ways, and so then you already have that memory built in your head of these different shots that like this shot like I did like 6 months ago could be really good for this project that I'm doing now. Like I could kind of do something like that and expand on it, and you have all these as just kind of like building your library in your head.
Completely agree with you. Yep. I think you're on the money on that, especially when it comes to like it's one thing to do I guess it for like such as some personal practice and that sort of thing, and then it's another thing to like want to say like no, I want to get good at this for like my job or like for professional reasons, so on and so forth, and it was definitely for that reason, like more on the professional scope versus like a personal like artistic level. So yeah, kind of the driving force for all that, you know.
Yeah, and you gotta have that, that for your personal self stuff to help drive forward what you want to do professionally and all that. Like, because a lot of times you'll like burn out, or you can just get to a state where you're like, I just want to do something I kind of want to do. And so these little things like this, little passion pieces and stuff that makes it fun and stuff, really kind of breathes back in life.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's painting this stuff for me has become a little bit like a meditation. It's like my timeout. Like my son's asleep, my wife's just chilling, you know. I'm like in my room, just doing my thing, you know. It's like yeah, man. I'm like I love this time of day. What else? I don't know what else to add to this thing without just like it being about, you know, it's gonna render it or something. It's I kind of like it when there's like a certain amount of looseness, and for some parts where it's like super loose, I like just that aesthetic sometimes. If you guys know the painter like John Singer Sargent, he's like a classic painter.
Yeah.
But I just love some of the stuff where it's like so painterly, like just a brush stroke and he just like leaves it. You're like, damn, that's so dope.
I was trying way too hard for that effect, and then I end up overfitting. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the thing that I'm trying to avoid right now. Is like, so the more I make these marks, inevitably it gets to that point where it's like you're starting to overpaint it, or there's like too much complexity. It like loses its initial, whatever you want to call it, like, you know, the flavor of what it was, you know. And
character to it.
It's like that balance point right now. It's like, okay, I think I should stop, but I'm like, it's like pushing the ball towards the edge a little bit more, you know.
As you're slowly inching it more and more.
Exactly.
Inching up more.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just like I feel like I'm compelled to just like work on this guy, this like foreground dude some more. So give him like a microphone piece, put some gear on him.
Extra stuff.
Yeah.
You talking about this makes me remember that I have so much respect for the people who can do this in gouache, especially just
gouache is crazy.
All the aspects that you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you were to do it traditionally, I think you had to do it a little bit in school.
Oh yeah, we did, but it would take like 20 times longer, you know, like literally.
Because it's not acrylic.
Yeah, like you
paint it differently.
Right, like you draw it, like you tone your board. I remember like tone my board and you draw it. I remember I draw it carefully, and then you would like transfer it with paper, like this tracing paper, because like you would paint and then you would transfer the next drawing that's like on top. So it took a long
it's like
time.
The opposite of oils or something.
Yep.
You had to do everything by light. And that's what I was saying here is I agree with everything you're saying. It's like painterly and being able to do the one brush stroke and be kind of perfect. As Singer Sargent, I was laughing because I agree. It's true. It's like he has a realistic face, like rendering. And then like behind it's like one brush stroke.
Yeah.
Background.
Like there's like the little girl in the back where like half of the face is like one brushstroke shadow.
It's perfect. It's composition. You know, you're just
right.
About flow and shape language, you know, the 12 design principles. But when you're saying about this that you have the urge to render the guy in the front in your foreground, it just reminded me of just how much respect I have for like Sid Mead and stuff, who was like, you know, how till he died, he was still doing stuff. I believe using his traditional stuff, even though he could do it on PC. You know, with the mirror, you know, the reflective mirror stuff too. Yeah, to flip it.
So true, man. No, I like when we visited his studio, he was still doing everything on like traditional, like drafting table, pencil, graphite, like
20 by 30 or 30 by 40.
And he was designing like a racetrack in Dubai. Like he was doing stuff that we're like, how, dude, you work on stuff that's like on another level, dude, you know? And
oh, that's kind of cool.
He had like these huge drawings on like kind of like you know, what's that, like not wax paper, but like tracing paper. And they were just so cool, man, to see loose drawings. It was like so amazing.
I love that tracing paper, especially when it's just like chock full of drawings. You're just flipping through it, and you can like even do like really cool like layering and stuff like that. Like as a kid, I always bought that because I would trace over like books and stuff, pictures when I was little, learning how to draw for the first time.
That's cool.
And eventually, as I got older, I would start drawing like kind of like how it's like the first Iron Man, when he's like designing the suit and he lays down all the sheets on top of it and it builds the whole suit. But it's each sheet is designed parts and stuff.
Right.
You could do stuff like that, and it's so fun. Tracing paper is fun.
It's kind of amazing. I remember seeing like when certain professionals, you'd first see them like their drawings or something, you know, and you're just like, it's like so precise. I remember because there's a difference between, I remember seeing like a product designer's drawings for the first time I saw a product designer's drawings, and it was just of like glasses, like a cup. But I'm just like, damn, those ellipses are so good, you know?
The line quality, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just so hard.
I know,
the reason
man.
I brought up the Sid Mead stuff, I kind of, sorry, took your thunder and James.
Oh, no, go for it.
Topic, but is, you know, I know you're aging too, you know, but I was just, with AI and we're all doing the computer stuff digitally mostly, you know, I think one of those bucket list things really is to kind of go back to traditional stuff and like, you know, maybe try put an effort towards maybe trying the gouache thing at some point in life.
Dude.
Because it's just like, you know, AI is going to replace us all, right? So it'll go back down to the physical stuff again, in my opinion, just for simple pleasure. So that's like a huge hurdle.
Dude, I think you're speaking like such like truth, because it'll create like a necessity for like the opposite, you know?
Yeah, for the reverse.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, because it's just it'll go back to human interaction. You're like, oh, look, you can see the brushstroke, blah 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 there, and what were you thinking, saying it, you know, when you were doing this part? Why is there just one brushstroke behind the completely realistic face?
Well, I had inspiration, you see. I still like, for me, because I do digital and stuff to work on, build up towards like career side of things and getting to a higher level and doing this stuff that I want to do. And then when I'm home and stuff, because I don't always have my tablet with me when I'm home, because I keep it up at my office now, my work. But so I can do that 8 hours a day and then come home. So I do like traditional painting, traditional drawing and stuff when I'm home. Go outside, sketch trees or paint canvases inside or whatever. And it's such a fun thing to just kind of take it back again to like the stuff that I was originally doing. I started off on like graphite and charcoal and stuff. So it's just fun to go back and play with that. And especially with building the knowledge from doing digital and just gaining more knowledge in terms of just art and stuff, coming in and like going, oh yeah, now I can really see what I want to do. Okay, cool. And I'll do like a lot of my thumbnails and stuff for paintings that I want to maybe do on digital art. I'll sketch them first in my sketchbooks. I'll draw them a bunch of different ways and stuff.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. That's cool to hear. I think
try and keep it traditional. I think it's fun.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember the first time I was doing like a lot of digital art, I was like, wow, I'm doing it in front of the computer. It's so nice. And then now I'm like, I can't wait to not do it in front of the computer.
Do you still use like a Wacom, James?
Yeah, I'm still on a Wacom.
I saw there was a new like 2-year certificate program in Paris that kind of replaced the FCD. Sort of Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And all their students, I think they have them all working on Wacom's. And since all the big draw on screens, what do they call them?
The Cintiqs, yes.
Yeah, it came out. I think I might actually go buy a Wacom again. I still have my old Wacom 3 with the original nub still. But I think Cintiq's okay. I have something like that right now, but I don't know. For some reason.
I have the really small Cintiq, and then I have the Intuos, and I switched to the Cintiq when I was first beginning because I was like, I want to be able to like see what I'm drawing. I got used to the Intuos, but I just wanted to have a little bit more connection to what I was drawing, like how it feels for when I'm traditionally drawing and stuff. Like I just feel like I could make it not look so robotic if I could see the brush that I'm brush stroking, but I could kind of switch back now. Kind of wouldn't mind it. Being able to sit up and stuff rather than hunch over like a gremlin over a Cintiq is kind of hard.
Dude, we have to coin that phrase. Brush stroking. The brush I was brush stroking.
Yeah, brush stroking.
That's awesome, man. That's hilarious.
Clip it.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't. I'm a t-shirt. Kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I've definitely looked over James and like Fangzhu's, lots of your videos, just over the years because I grip my pen too hard. So the reason I was thinking of going back to a Wacom was because of called ergonomics. Not ergonomics. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever it's called is that getting like carpal tunnel, or like just gripping your pen too hard. And, yeah, I think longevity of being able to sit is shorter the older you get.
I agree. I was getting like I put this thing, like the bigger grips on the pens. That's like it helps me so much.
Really?
Like the gel.
Yeah, just the bigger like this, just so like
pencil's so weird. So
yeah, that's what I was kidding. That's crazy.
Because it's weird when I draw, I'm like very loose. Like I hold it very loose, but when I'm on the tablet for some reason, I'm like tense.
Hard. Yeah.
I don't know why it is.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Because I don't use the button on it either. So even having a large one, thank you. That actually is a great idea.
Right on, man. Cool. But yeah, I think this painting here, I think I'm just like done. I don't want to keep adding like little nubs and spiky things and like a reflection, but it's just I keep undoing it. So I figure I'm just gonna but let's just chat for a few more minutes. But this is a pretty fun live stream today. Just doing some painting and doing this whole mech kind of soldier series that I've been kind of into for the past few days.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been loving seeing them.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm like, go to work now.
It's been a pleasure. Again, kind of doing that daily exercises. It's been fun because I'm at a point where I feel like I want to roll, and kind of just keep the momentum going. Hopefully,
Fire's hot. Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Keep throwing stuff in.
I have a tendency to sometimes like stop. I get comfortable. I'm like, oh, I got somewhere. Okay, I want to chill for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do this and then it's cold.
Oh gosh, and then it's like
getting back into it.
Yeah, it's like torturous, Yeah.
You do one stroke and you're like, I can't do anything the rest of the day.
Yeah, you're like, why? No, I was better than this. What happened?
Yeah.
James, do you do this each week at this time? Yeah,
yes.
Weekly?
Yeah, it's a weekly Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. I tried it today on the YouTube platform. I don't know if I'll do that or just kind of go back to Discord or to GoToMeeting because it was more like it was, in my opinion, a lot more interactive with people. I could just talk to them a lot more easier. But yeah, it's at this time every week, and it's kind of like this format. Just paint something and we just talk for like about an hour and a half and stuff.
So, dude, I will totally come back next week.
Oh yeah, tell your friends, man.
So I was like, oh, they're talking about guns and stuff. I'm swinging over.
I miss, yeah, just talking to other people kind of like this.
I know I don't have anyone in the art world to talk to.
Yeah, after they got rid of Google Hangout, just like there's a couple, but far in between. So thank you, James.
Oh, no problem. It was fun. I'm enjoying this as well.
Awesome.
I don't even know what I'm drawing. There's like discs on their backs. That's what happens, man.
It's the future selling.
It's a portable shields.
Yeah, it's something, man. It's their portable toilets.
MREs.
Yeah. Awesome, everybody. Well, thanks for joining Livestream 6. Come back next week. We'll just hang out and talk some more and do some more art and discussion. So thanks for hanging out.
I'll definitely try to be there. This is fun.
Awesome, guys. Thank you all. And I will be signing off, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.